The Delta variant surging across the U.S. Overflow tents are being set up outside LBJ Hospital in Houston, Texas, as we speak. All of this happening as the northern part of the state is down to only 2 pediatric ICU beds. And after banning mask mandates across Texas, Governor Greg Abbott is now asking hospitals to stop non-emergency surgeries to make room for COVID patients. Here's what healthcare workers in Texas and across the country have to say now.
To watch someone suffer for weeks, unable to eat, unable to drink, struggling for every breath, it changes you. I see these people over and over again when I try and sleep, suffering, and I hear, their last words. It's a big burden to bear to hear someone's last words, especially when those words are meant for their family who can't be there.
It's disheartening, and I know some nurses have walked away from it, and some have just picked up and said, I can't do this no more. When you overrun us and you wear us down and we get to where we can't come to work anymore, there's not going to be anybody here to take care of it.
I'm an emergency medicine physician here in Texas. When I walk into the emergency department, it honestly feels as bad, if not worse, than it did a year ago here in Texas. There are patients that I admit, 4 or 5 days ago that are still stuck in the emergency department because the hospitals and the ICUs are so full and so they can't move up. Most hospitals in large cities like Houston, Dallas, Austin are down to single-digit capacity when it comes to the number of ICU beds left.
For more on this, let's bring in Marcus Moore. He's in Houston, Texas for us right now. So, Marcus, we just heard the emergency medicine physician in Texas in that video say that things feel bad, if not worse, as last year. And according to the Texas Department of State Health Services, and you know this, there are more than 13,000 daily new confirmed cases in Texas right now. And according to HHS, more than 9,000 people hospitalized, and cases have soared 91% in just the past 2 weeks. So what can you tell us about what's being done and how this is impacting the state of Texas?
Well, Kira, certainly this is something that hospital officials, not only here in Texas, but across the country have been concerned about. And it's the reason why health officials have been urging people who have been hesitant to get vaccinated to go ahead and get the shot. Because what's happening now is it would seem that the Delta variant is aimed squarely at the people who are not vaccinated. And it is those people who have begun to fill the various ERs and ICUs spread across Texas and the South. It is so bad, Kira, that some of the emergency rooms here in this area, in fact, in the city of Conroe, which is just north of Houston, where we are, there's an ER that is temporarily closed because they don't have the staff to handle all of the COVID cases that have been coming in. And then when we talk about the hospitalizations that have been on the rise, there's just a staggering number coming from one of the counties to our south, down in the valley. They saw hospitalizations increase more than 400% in the past 30 days. So it gives you a sense of just how quickly the cases or the COVID-19 Delta variant has been spreading, and how those hospitals right now are at their max. Here back here in Houston, at LBJ Hospital, they have set up overflow tents outside the hospital facility there, anticipating an influx of COVID-19 patients as the days go ahead. And then you have a number of hospitals right now in other parts of the state, or communities right now in other parts of the state, where they have only, say, 2 ICU beds available. That's the case, Kira, in North Texas. So right now they're doing what they can to move resources and people and manpower to those hospitals, but there's only so much they can do, Kira. As you know, there is a nursing shortage, and because of that, even if there is a bed available at a hospital facility, they don't have the staff, they don't have the manpower to staff those beds.
Something else we've been talking about too, Marcus, after banning mask mandates across Texas, and the governor did that. Now, Greg Abbott is asking hospitals to stop non-emergency surgeries to make room for COVID patients. So you're there at CERTAC headquarters in Houston. It's a group that oversees resources from hundreds of hospitals across the state. What are they telling you?
Well, Kira, what we have heard from them is that this is as bad right now as it was, if not worse, than it was at the beginning of the pandemic, when it was at its peak. So there is a sense that this is, in many ways, to borrow the cliche, a deja vu. For people in these communities, as well as the healthcare workers who every day, day in and day out, try to help people in need. And so they are seeing the resources being stretched thin. And it is the reason why the governor here in Texas has asked hospitals to postpone or to suspend those elective surgeries. But he's also faced criticism, because there are people here who say that the governor and his decision to ban mask mandates has helped create the situation that we are in, this perfect storm, Kira, where you have the Delta variant spreading among those who are unvaccinated and among many people presumably who have not been wearing masks, and then you have a hospital system that is being strained at the very same time.
Well, and then you have the school districts in Dallas, right, that are defying Governor Abbott's orders and rolling out mask mandates for students as these pediatric COVID cases rise. So how concerning are these high numbers for unvaccinated students that are going back into the classroom now?
Well, they're very concerning, Kira, and it's the reason why we have seen the school districts, not only in Dallas, but also here in the Houston area, in Harris County, and many other large school districts are defying the governor's orders and are implementing their own mask mandates. Many of them have already gone into effect, even in school districts that have yet to go back to school. But for teachers and any staff that are inside those buildings, they are now mandated or ordered to wear masks indoors. And that has been the key issue throughout this new wave that's been spreading or that's been marching across this part of the country, that you have a large section of the population, unvaccinated children, younger than 12, who are not eligible to be vaccinated. And yet, as we've seen, those are the very people who have been getting sick and severely ill in the hospitals here in this area.
Well, we'll continue to stay on top of this story with you, Marcus Moore, in Houston, Texas for us. Thanks, Marcus.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.